That's right. No Jay Phillips with me today. I'm Elijah Campbell taking you solo up until 6 o'clock, and we've been talking about the series all day. Clemson beat South Carolina 3 times this weekend and gives the team their first losses of the year. And on as he does every week, every Monday at 5:15. I always appreciate Coach Mainieri's time. Paul Mainieri joins us right now. And, Coach, appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with me here on this Monday afternoon. But first thing I have to ask you, because we talked about it the last time you were here, and we got Jay in trouble for asking about the Clemson series before the Gardner-Webb game. So he's somewhat off the hook, but we can rag on him about that. But this is now your first time experiencing the Carolina-Clemson baseball rivalry. 3 games, 3 different venues, and what I firmly believe is the best rivalry in college baseball. What was kind of your firsthand experience? What is your review?
Well, I'll tell you, Elijah, it was everything that everybody told me it was going to be. It's an awesome setup. 1 game at each school and then 1 at a neutral site. I'll tell you, the people in Greenville were just amazing. Beautiful ballpark, great hosts, and unbelievable crowd. I think it was an overflow crowd. 3 exciting ball games. I mean, all 3 were hard-fought games. We had a chance to win all of them, and we didn't win any of them. And so, we feel very badly about that, of course. We're just trying to, we talk about it all the time with our team about how our season will be defined by how we do in the close games. And we had 3 close games this weekend. Unfortunately, we just didn't get the job done at the end when we needed to. And I know how much it means to all the people of South Carolina, University of South Carolina fans, and just feel so awful that we disappointed them and didn't finish the job. Nobody feels worse about it than the coaching staff and the players. All I can do is promise everybody that we're going to keep working hard to improve and make something good out of this season and hopefully get a shot, do a better job, I should say, next year when we have a shot at Clemson.
Mm-hmm. And before we dive into the series a little bit, you mentioned last night in the postgame, Talmadge LeCroy, Kennedy Jones, both re-aggravating some injuries. What's kind of the latest on them as we head into a new week?
Yeah, it's been really something we've been with Talmadge. It's something we've been dealing with all year. Believe it or not, the first game of the season, he took a ball off his hand to pitch in the dirt, hit him in his throwing hand, and we didn't know it at the time, but it fractured his thumb on his right hand. And unfortunately, he's been in a lot of pain throughout the season. He's played right through it because he's so tough. He's just an unbelievable warrior. But what happened when Kennedy threw out the runner in the middle game at home plate and he made the tag on the runner at home plate, somehow his hand got hit pretty hard, and it just swelled up and was very painful for him that day. I didn't really know that it was hurting him because he didn't tell me it was hurting him. But he was unable to play yesterday. And then what happened was Kennedy on the first night, when Talmadge hit the double that scored a couple runs, including Kennedy sliding headfirst in the home plate, Kennedy banged up his left shoulder. He's had some problems with that shoulder in the past, and so I think it flared up, and he wasn't able to swing yesterday. And then also the other guy I didn't even mention was Dalton Mayshore. He's back on the disabled list too. He's having a problem with one of his legs, and I guess when it rains it pours. But he won't be available for a few days. We'll have to kind of see how that thing works out. But these are the trials and tribulations that a team goes through every year. Our team is no different than most teams around the country, so we're just going to have to grit our teeth and fight through it and get back on the winning ways tomorrow night, hopefully against Davidson, and the next man up type of attitude has to prevail.
Yeah, I think the when it rains it pours analogy fits pretty well here because that's terrible injury luck with 3 guys that are vital to success in the lineup, and you had some struggles being able to get the clutch hit. You mentioned it last night, and I really agree with the sentiment that when it came down to it, Clemson just got more clutch hits than your team did. But now that you've been able to sleep on it, think about it for a little bit, what do you think might be some of the reasons why your team maybe struggled at the plate, especially when it came to some of the strikeouts?
Yeah, we just didn't make good adjustments at the plate. They especially when they brought in the Allen kid yesterday, he threw nothing but sliders to us. And we just kept swinging through them, and I felt like we just didn't make the adjustment, and the coaches are the ones that take the fall for that. The players, are up there and they need our help, and we discussed it with them, and I don't know why, but we just didn't make the adjustment. We knew he was going to throw a bunch of breaking balls, and we were just swinging on over top of them all, and he ended up striking out quite a few of our batters during that three inning stretch that he pitched. Outside of that, I thought we hit a couple of balls hard, but right at people. But listen, Clemson's a highly ranked team for a reason. Their pitching staff did a great job, and whenever you don't hit, you wonder, is it because we didn't hit well, or was because the other team really pitched well? And sometimes you got to give credit where credit is due. I think it was a little bit of each, and it's a learning experience for our team, and we're going to have to bounce back. That's all we can do at this point.
And one thing I thought that you mentioned last night after the game that was pretty thought-provoking is that, like the hallmark of a lot of your teams is getting better throughout the season and the development over the course of the year. And you might have some lumps, and I was reminded earlier today about one of your LSU teams, 2008, had a rough stretch in the middle of that season, but were able to turn around. You took the team to Omaha. But what are maybe some, other examples of some tough stretches that you've experienced in your long coaching career, and how may some of that be applicable to this specific team?
Well, unfortunately, I've had a lot of rough stretches throughout my career, But, I've always said that, when you have adversity, when some negative things strike your team, that's really when the coach earns his paycheck. It's easy to coach kids and teams when everything's going great. It's when you face a little bit of adversity of when the true character of people show up. And it's my job to keep the guys believing in themselves, keep them working hard, keep them enthused and confident about the season. And I don't have any doubt that that's going to happen. I honestly didn't anticipate winning the first 9 games of the season. Baseball is just that way, but, we get a grand slam from Jay Swoy when it's 35 degrees and raining, and we win one game and avoid a disaster, so to speak. But baseball is a very humbling game. And, this weekend I thought we were well prepared, excited, confident, and we went out there, and Matthew Becker struggled the first couple of innings. We got ourselves in a hole, but then we got a big hit by Talmadge LaCroix and a sac fly by Naraki, and made it a 1-run game. And then Brandon Stone stepped in and really dominated for his 4 1/3 innings, except for one little glitch where he gave up a solo home run. And then we just, I felt like we were, battling up at the plate. We just couldn't quite get over the hump. And so we lost a close game there. And then, of course, Saturday was a close game. It was 2-1 or 0-0 into the 6th inning. Jake McCoy just pitched his heart out, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. But they got a clutch hit. Their outstanding center fielder got a double to drive in a run, and then kind of a freak play on a swinging bunt. He ended up scoring from second base, and Ethan made it a 1-run game with a home run, and then pitcher had been pitching well for 2 innings in relief of McCoy, and then just kind of lost his command in the top of the 9th. And they ended up getting a little bit bigger lead, which was too much to overcome. And yesterday's game was kind of a mirror image of Saturday's game. Dylan Cruz pitched so well, and we had a 0-0 game, and they scratched one across in a second run, and before you know it, I thought we had a chance to get back in it, and then we had a bad inning, and then we had a kind of a strange umpire's call go against us there to squelch a rally. But yeah, we just got to find a way to win those close ones. Those are the games, like I said, that are going to make or break your season. And we didn't find a way win these games, but we will in the future, Elijah. I have all the confidence in the world, and these kids will bounce back, and we'll have a good year.
Oh, yeah, and there's a lot you're going to be able to learn about your team. I know, considering the injuries with Talmadge and Kennedy and now Dalton as well, there's going to be, like what you alluded to, a lot of next man up. And we saw a little bit of like the attempt for next man up, putting guys in different spots going into the game last night. What are you kind of looking for some of the guys who maybe you haven't called upon a lot early to be able to step into some situations where they're kind of getting thrown into the fire now that we're starting to barrel towards SEC play?
Yeah, then that's why I played a lot of guys, because you just never know when you're going to need them. And if you're going to need them, you want them to be ready to play because they're sharp. And that's why I try to get some guys some playing time in the anticipation of, some injuries that are unfortunate, and also, some players maybe not performing at the level that you thought that they would. So, I hope that by next week, when we play Oklahoma, that we'll be settled in and guys will be healthy enough to be able to line up and play. But we're going to have to continue to try some different guys. One guy I'm going to play tomorrow that had a good game when I played him once was Bo Hollins, and he's going to be in there tomorrow. Maybe Bo will give us a spark. We got to get some of the other guys hitting, like Scobie and Kazmar. They've struggled. At times they've looked good, but at times they've struggled. We just got to get them on a more consistent path. It's where they can show what kind of ball players they really are, especially with the bat.
It certainly presents an exciting opportunity. You got Davidson this week, so I know you're looking forward to preparing for that. And the good news, Coach, about Davidson, Steph Curry ain't walking through that door, and he didn't play baseball, so it doesn't matter anyway. So.
Well, we respect all of our opponents, so we'll be ready tomorrow night to play. And we've put this really difficult weekend behind us. I just feel really bad on a personal basis. I feel like we let down a lot of people, but we're gonna bounce back, and hopefully everybody else can put it behind us, and let's look forward with positive attitude going into the rest of the schedule this year.
Yes, sir. A whole lot of baseball being played. This Coach Paul Mainieri. Coach, appreciate it as always for your time this week, and look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Okay, Elijah. Thank you.